Hey, what's up, guys? This is my comic book review again about Superman, but this time this is the best and my favorite comic book review of Superman. It's called Superman Earth 1 by J. Michael Straczynski and Shane Davis. Yeah, that's right. This one looks like a more serious Superman that you would get than the mainstream Superman. But I kind of like the way that this one is not mainstream Superman in the DC universe. It's just an alternate reality of a different kind of Superman given a different story. But it's not really that different. But I still think it's badass. In my opinion, I think it's the best Superman comic book out there, and I'll tell you why. Uh, Basically, the story is much more significant, in my opinion, towards the attitude of who Superman really is. It shows like a like a realistic kung fu superhero, detective like, badass Spike Spiegel. Put in it if you want kind of Superman. Like it's so kick ass this one. The art is also spectacular. I have to say that Shane David did an awesome job uh, drawing Superman and stuff. Well, he's still in his underwear, but what the hell? The underwear still looks hella nice because it's a thong for Superman, in other words. And J. Michael Straczynski did an awesome job writing a storyline for this comic book. After all, he's an award-winning Oscar, I think. So he worked in a Clint Eastwood film called Challenging or Challenge. I don't know the pronunciation, but who gives a damn? But this comic book is freaking amazing because uh, the storyline really kicks off to where Superman is. I mean, you have Superman. The story is really much more consistent than other comic books because you have Superman. Because this comic book, in my opinion, is really parallel to the film with of Man of Steel. Like when I read this comic book, it really just gave me a hint of what I would expect with Man of Steel, and it kind of did so. And in some sense, it kind of makes sense. But we also see a new supervillain in this. I forgot the name, but like he kind of looks like this. Hold on, let me bring it out. He kind of looks like someone actually shit on his face or something. Like here, this is how he looks. Oh, whoa. Let me point it out. Yeah, that's him right there. Yeah. Is that really a supervillain, or does that look like a geisha? Like, did someone just put cream on his face or something like that? Man, I mean, but it's still sick. And he's an alien from some other planet. He's trying to kill the last son of Krypton, like the last person, because he already knows that Krypton blew up. I think his planet also blew up, and he's trying to get vengeance, and he's trying to destroy Earth because he's pissed off at humans for providing shelter for Superman on Earth. So he's gonna take away. He wants to destroy Earth and stuff, but Superman's trying to kick his ass and stop him. But overall, what's really sick about this comic book is that you see a newspaper article about Superman, and I don't think that most comic books have really done that. So that really just gives us a realistic kind of approach towards Superman in the modern future. Because, and by the way, this does not show Superman to be in the 21st century. It shows him to become Clark Kent to become Superman sometime around like 2050 or something like that. You know, obviously AD, but because you can kind of see because like the skyscrapers and stuff, they don't look like the skyscrapers like the ones right now. They look like freaking like the ones in Krypton. So like technology in Earth is probably catching up to those in Krypton. But really, I thought that the Superman in this was so realistic. I mean, you see Clark Kent, he graduates from a community college. He's trying to apply for jobs and stuff. That's the kind of thing that I wanted to see in Man of Steel, but it didn't happen because he's trying to fit in. He's trying to know what he could do. But in this comic book, his costume is actually made by his mom, which I kind of like better because like um the S is kind of like a human thing. It's not like Kryptonians invented it because S originally stands for Superman, but in Man of Steel it's dependent. It stands for hope. But the funny thing is hope does not start with an S. But I know it's in their language, but I kind of like it better to see that the costume was made here on Earth to show that Superman is more Earth-like. Therefore, his Superman was invented here, not on Krypton. And he didn't get his costume from Krypton. He got it from Earth. I kind of like it to be on Earth. His mom made it and stuff. And what's sick about it is the costume's already made, but and it's in Clark Kent's backpack. But he doesn't know like when to use it, when to wear it, when to save the world, and all that stuff. He's trying to fit it in some way, and that's the part that I really like is about identity, where he wants to fit in. He wants to get a job. He wants to be a superhero, but he doesn't know when to be a superhero. He doesn't know any of that. But what's sick about it is that again, this comic book does a better approach about the actual realistic portrayal of Superman in the way it does. Okay, he becomes. Hold on, let me be careful about this. I kind of like the idea that Lois Lane doesn't know much anything. Well, here's the thing. I think it's far more interesting that Lois Lane doesn't know uh, about Clark Kent's identity as of Superman because it kind of makes Lois Lane kind of snobby-ish, and what we see in this, and she's like a stalker to Clark Kent. She doesn't know anything about him, like who is this weird kid? How did he get a job and all that stuff? And I think that's kind of that I really like because if we wanted to make it more realistic, that Lois Lane does not know about Clark Kent's secret identity, it would be like she doesn't know his face. Like when John Bryan shows that no one knows Superman's real identity because he's always flying like crazy that the photo shots and all that can't depict his face because he's moving the speed of light or some shit like that. I think that's a realistic approach. That's what I really like in this comic book is that Lois Lane does not know Clark Kent's identity, but they make it so realistic. And you don't see a romance scene with Clark Kent and Lois in this one, but it's so realistic about it. But there's another random ass chick that Clark Kent actually dates, and her name is Lisa. Well, I don't see that. I don't see Lisa in other comic books. Why did they? Why did they throw her in here? Well, probably because they just want to. Again, this is not the mainstream. They want to make an alternate reality of Superman, but I still think it's kick ass. And what's so awesome about this is that you see Jonathan Kent the same way as you did in Man of Steel, like the way he teaches him all this stuff that you're one day you're gonna show the world who you really are, and that's what happens in this comic book that I think is so sick and so awesome. Like the fighting was sick, and if I have the chance, I want to show you one of my favorite moments, like literally the badass art that I really 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 like in this part. Hold up, it's with Superman fighting this guy right here. Let me point it out. Right, shit. Hold up, my bad. Right there. Look at it. Look at that badass scene. Yeah, see, he kicks his ass right there. All right, check this out. All right, let me go to the next one that I really like. That I think is sick as hell. It might not be there because hold up. I'm coming out. This one is hella badass scene. Like this is Superman's actual identity in this. It's he almost looks like the guy in Man of Steel, Henry Cavill, which is I think is so sick. Um, Overall, if I was to rate this comic book, in my opinion, I would literally give this a 10. It's just my opinion. You might not give it, but I think it's perfection. I think it's absolutely the way Superman should be, and how other comic books should follow it. I think that Jim Lee is the number one artist for Superman, but I think J. Michael Straczynski, if Jim Lee and J. Michael Straczynski work together, they could make the ultimate Superman comic book ever. Because J. Michael Straczynski obviously made um, a wonderful as a writer for this part in Superman history. Also, I still have to give credit for Shane Davis. He's a wonderful. J. Michael Straczynski and Shane Davis worked out really well for this comic book, and I advise you to check it out. I think for me, this is the best Superman comic book out there, and it really kicks out. And check my next video for Superman Earth 1 Volume 2, which is even better. Yo, later.